Can I ask you a weird question?
Yeah, weird away.
If something happened to you, and I could stop it, but it would mean we would never meet, would you want me to?
What?
2 years ago, my boyfriend Max passed away. I can't seem to pull myself back together. Ever since the accident, certain songs literally pull me back into the past. What do you want to do today?
All of it.
Maybe it's time to start living in the present tense again.
I used to listen to this album over and over. And I love how music can do that.
What?
Pull you back to some moment in time.
Just stop the car! What if I can save him? What if I can change that moment and the accident never happens?
You met someone new. How is this a bad thing?
I would still listen to every record that ever existed to save him. It feels like I'm cheating.
You coming?
Boom, there you go. That was the trailer for The Greatest Hits, streaming right now on Hulu. It's your boy Kuya. This is Nerds Rule the World, and joining me to talk all about The Greatest Hits is the writer, director, Ned Benson. Thank you so much for your time today, sir.
Of course, thanks so much for having me.
So first off, I got to tell you thank you. As a fellow creative, I'm just like surprised that we finally have a film on how music can be time travel. Because it does just transport you to different moments when you first heard that song, the situation. So thank you. You beat me to the punch because I always thought that was a great idea.
I mean, I'm sure other people have had our same idea, Patrick. But yeah, I'm glad we've been able to make this movie. It's been a fun one for sure.
Well, it is very special. I really enjoyed it. Thank you again for this film. So very sweet. I was reading on the production notes on how the idea came to you. You were reading a book that kind of inspired you back in 2008. If you could take me back to then of coming up with this concept, and then you kind of shelved it for a little bit because you did a little thing called Eleanor Rigby, Black Widow, some not so big films, whatever. And now we have The Greatest Hits, and I'm so thankful that it's here.
Yeah, I think I had the idea 2008. I read this book called Musicophilia by Oliver Sacks, who's a neurologist, and he was talking about how music interacts with the brain and creates things like musical hallucinations and synesthesia. So that was really interesting to me because music has always profoundly affected me. I'm really susceptible to being emotionally overwhelmed by songs and having them take me to certain places in my life. So those two things compounded really was the genesis of the first pass of the script, which I wrote in 2009. And then I put it away to focus on other projects for a while, and then revisited it during COVID in 2020 when I saw it through that lens, and this lens of isolation, and sort of placed Harriet, in this isolated space and trying to figure out how to get back to her life, while being haunted by music.
I love it. I love when you just let the idea sit for a little bit and then you finally see the path to where it really should be. That's beautiful. So assembling this cast and this team to put this together, if we could talk about the cast you put together a little bit, Lucy Boynton, Justin Min, a little bit.
Yeah, I really lucked out with this group of actors. The first person I met was Lucy, and she had responded to the script, and we had a meeting in a coffee shop. And I remember her walking in and just being like, "Yeah, this is Harriet," and we had just an amazing conversation about the script and the character. And she was really integral in helping me figure out who Harriet was, and the way she embodied her through rehearsal processes and whatnot. And then I got to meet Justin Min, who was recommended to me through one of the producers, who also came from a casting background. So had an amazing Zoom with him, and just he's such a beautiful human being, and just he had all the vulnerability that I think I wanted for the character. And beyond that, then met David Corenswet and Austin Crute, and very similar experiences. Had wonderful meetings with these people. They're just really phenomenal actors, but also really great human beings. So we had this kind of familial, really collaborative, fun experience through rehearsal and just shooting the whole thing. It was really a blast. So I lucked out for sure.
Definitely. Such a wonderful cast. I think a lot of stars that are on the rise, and we're going to be seeing a lot more of in the future. So it's great to have just such a wonderful cast. The music in this, because we are talking about music, were there any tracks that you had in mind that you probably couldn't get the clearance on, or just talk about just some of the music that you were able to get and feature because it's such an integral part of the film?
Yeah, I mean, so what we really wanted with the music supervisor I worked with, Mary Ramos, and also DJ Harvey was a consultant on, some of the songs, and Hi-Fi, and Ryan Lott, the composer. We kind of really wanted the music to help tell the story. So if you pay attention lyrically, these songs are giving you the subtext of each scene. They're actually helping tell the story simultaneously as we're watching the action. So that was really important in terms of choosing songs that not only help tell the story, but also represented who these characters were, and their different musical tastes. So obviously Morris falls more into disco and funk, and Harriet has a more eclectic, like past, present. And, there was the more like Tune Yards rock of Max, and, David, we sort of looked at like more, shoegazy, kind of like dream pop, like beach house. So that was a really fun process in terms of sharing playlists with everybody. And figuring that all out. I mean, there were some heartbreaks for me. I wanted Prince, It's Gonna Be Lonely, from that first Prince album, but couldn't afford that. It was kind of this jigsaw puzzle we had to play in terms of finding and fitting the appropriate music budget. And then there was a song by the Tramps called Can We Come Together that I really love. That I guess the licensing was really tricky to figure out because of the remix of the song that I wanted to use. So those were like a little heartbreaking, but again, there's so much amazing music in the world, and there was always other songs that we were able to like pop in and make work for the scenes and the narrative.
I think you did a great job. And again, thank you for bridging the gap of like sci-fi and music. I love that this was put together. And again, an idea I had way back when, because it's so transformative, and it brings you into that, memory with music. If you could tell me quickly a playlist of tracks that kind of make you think about certain times, if you don't mind.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. Avalon Roxy Music reminds me of my mom. Tribe Called Quest, Midnight Marauders, like Award Tour specifically gets me to high school. Kid A, Radiohead, college, senior year college, Outkast, Stankonia. They played on the steps at Columbia. That was one of my all-time favorite concerts I've ever seen. It was like just with all the graduate students that week. And that, Big Boy and Andre 3000 killed that. That's a huge album for me. And so those are some big ones for me.
I love it. Well, Ned, again, thank you for this film. I've been talking with other friends about this film. I'm going to be talking about it on the radio this week because it just touched me so much. And I love the conversations that's going to start from it. Like, remember this song and that moment and the like. So this is a very special film. Thank you so much for this, Ned. Everybody, Ned Benson, writer, director of The Greatest Hits, streaming right now on Hulu. Go check it out. It's your boy, Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World. Thank you, Ned.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, sir.
Appreciate you. Appreciate the time.
Hey!
Awesome. Patrick Michael Strange, aka Kuya P with Nerds Rule the World. Ned, it's a pleasure to chat with you.
Patrick, so nice to meet you.
Wonderful. Let me count us in and help me with my edit, and we'll get rocking and rolling. Here we go. In a 1, 2, 3.